here I am. I wanted to give a little bit of time. There are a few things I need to set up. Blood Mage is like, where are you? I just wanted to give it that little waiting time, Blood Mage, so that people come in and wait on me. You know, a little bit of like wait time. Hey, 50SND, welcome. All right, I got a few tests to do before I get on with my development today. Which, by the way, today's a crafting day. I got to add new emotes, by the way. For those of you who's been here for a while knows my cat, Peach and Fig, especially Fig, likes to drop it in the stream. So I figured we'll make a Fig emote here. We got Figs there. I don't know all right, well, upload. And then we'll make a tier 1 Fig meow. Fig meow. Fig yell. How about that? And then we can have tier 2 Fig angel. There you go. Boom. 3 new emotes today. This one doesn't read as well, but I think meowing is kind of funny. All right. Well, now that's out of the way. Denny, hello. What's good, Az? Says Denny. I'm good. How are you? Courage is here. Void is here. Says hi, Az. First. Secondly, that's a Twitch stream got delayed. It got delayed? What do you mean? How delayed? Quilly says, I had you on my second monitor and randomly heard you talking suddenly and got confused. I'm in your head. You hear my voice from the ether from now on. All the time. That's right. That's perfectly where I want you to be. 50SNT says, I always watch her live and I always fall asleep. Sorry. No, it's okay. Hey, I mean, that's a view, no? I can't complain about that. Cooley says, get out of my head. Exactly. No, but I can't. That's my job. I need to be in your head. Currently, at least. Okay. Where were we? We were interacting with the person where if I press select, a window opens. Of course, it doesn't close, but window opens. I say that's a success. Now, next thing is I need to be able to navigate, right? So, boop, 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 right? I'm not really married on the idea of what it looks like so far. Revi says, hello, I'm over here today. Hello, Revi. Good to see you here. We had a lengthy discussion over the weekend on Dread on Arrival, by the way. So it's coming. The update is coming on Dread on Arrival soon enough. Happy to say. Courage says, Ezra, why don't you make your own studio? My own studio? What do you mean? Like the official like company name and stuff? Soon, trademark. Yeah, exactly. Down the Street says, I'm married. That's how I'm... I feel like Down the Street just wants to tell people that they are pregnant all the time. Maybe they like the attention. I don't know how we feel about attention seeker. I'm the only one who deserves attention here. Nah, I'm just kidding. Don't clip me saying that. Denny says, are you going to GDC next year? I'm not sure. GDC is always a little bit iffy for me. Like other more publicly open cons like PAX or like other Gamescom type of situation, at least there's like interest in playing games, seeing things announced. There's more general approachability. GDC is really mainly for business relationship and communication between the devs and like a game dev industry, which I'm like, man, is it worth paying all that money for when I don't have anything to show for it type of thing? So I don't know. You know, by the time next year rolls around, if we have our completed game and we're looking for a publisher, maybe that's something that I would consider. But as of right now, GDC is a no. But I'm definitely going to PAX West this year. Voice says, the link you posted on announcement, when I clicked the link, the stream wasn't on. Oh, yeah, no. I turned it. So this time, what I do is YouTube link that gets generated once I say, hey, I'm about to go online, Wait, is this the right YouTube link? Did I even give the right link? Here, hold on. Oh, it is. Okay, good. So what I wanted to do is basically prime the beginning so that people can be present as soon as I come on, as opposed to sometimes like I'm just twiddling my thumb talking to myself in the beginning. That's why it was delayed a little bit, Void. It wasn't an accidental delay. It was purposeful. Ravi says, did you get your tickets yet? No, I should. I need to do that by tomorrow. Remind myself. I need to. That's the plan, at least. There's some stuff that I'm taking care of where purchasing things becomes a little bit delayed right now, but it is coming. It is for sure happening one way or another. No doubt. But for now, that's the case. Courage says, are you? Am I what? Am I what? I don't know what that means. I'm saying a lot of words, so sometimes I don't know what words I'm saying. Okay. So we have a recipe thing going on. We need to make sure these things gets updated based on which recipe is loaded for this shop this time around. I suppose when the crafting window opens, we can have a code that primes the craft, I guess. Honestly, the crafting window should be not even crafting window, but then the craftable should probably be set per floor. And I'm not sure if the random roll should happen on when it gets opened or when the level gets loaded. I'm going to say when the level gets loaded, okay? So let's make a few recipes real quick. So we have a copper hammer here that requires original hammer probably. Let's say, I'm going to say item resource. Which one is this one? I want to see its code real quick. Okay, yeah, item resources, all of these things. So now I have new things to worry about. We got the recipe components. We got the item resource. We're going to create another item resource here. Boop, boop, boop. Resource here. Stone hammer, which will be an item resource. We're going to create a bunch of items right now first. So we're going to stone hammer. I wonder if I should give it a, like a, what do you call? Give it like a Minecraft approach, and players have like no items in the beginning. They're just like punching with their knuckle to start. That seems a little bit too harsh, but maybe it's something I can do. Courage says, wait, Ezra, you're almost 11K on YouTube. Oh, that's great. I mean, it's good. I'm always happy for that, but you know, I'm not tracking that closely until it becomes next 100,000. Next goal is 100,000 subs. Until then, I can't get excited. That's the kind of person I am. That's the next stop, I have to say. Okay, copper hammer here, which I guess I did Atlas, so we'll do stone hammer. We should probably make some relics too, for fun, I think. Maybe it doesn't do anything yet, but we can create them anyways. What about like upgrades, right? Is this considered upgrade or a whole new weapon? Right? So for example, if I say, hey, if I upgrade a hammer with like attributes, like +1, I don't know, hardness or like +1 damage, then if I use it to upgrade to copper hammer, should that attribute, you know, carry over? And I think the answer is yes. But that also means that we need to start making like a bunch of different items that does unique things, not just like it needs to be categorically unique, I think. I need to figure that out. Voice says, I don't want to hurt the bunny's hand. Give him the hammer. What? I'm not sure if I understand such reference. Revi says, you can make their first tool a rock. Just pick up any old rock. You know what? That's actually funny. Okay. All right. We're going to have a rock. We're going to have a stone hammer that can be upgraded to copper hammer and iron hammer. And then we're going to have some gem for adding attributes. So there's going to be a tab. I think there's going to be a craft tab. And then there's going to be a enhanced tab, right? So there's an enhancement, craft, and then there's a relic that you can craft. Relics are more like overall thing. Now, I'm not sure if those things should drop from the boss or boss should drop only the ingredients. I mean, that's all something that we need to think about, I think. I do like the idea of having a rock in the beginning. Though I'm not sure how I'm going to draw rock being swung. Hammer was a lot easier to draw. Courage says, you didn't answer the question. What question? Oh, am I going to make the game dev company? Yeah, eventually. But I think it's not there yet, maybe. Denny says, interesting to think about because being barehanded in Minecraft is mostly useless because players insta get an item rendering the bareness useless. Also think about the OG start in LOZ. LOZ is something zombie, maybe? I don't remember what LOZ was. But I do think, I mean, how cool would it be if some of the weapons are like a knuckler? So it's like a bare hand combat. Like you get some relics or items that allow, like that makes you stronger if you're barehanded, like the Ways of the Monk or something. Hold on. I gotta grab some napkins because as usual in the beginning, I'm allergic to beginning of the stream where I just sniffle and sneeze as soon as the stream starts. So I'll be back. Kendi says, you saw the new Apple release? New Apple, you mean the Apple phone? I don't know. I saw the new Xbox handheld release, which looks pretty fun. Because I was already considering getting Steam Deck for my development, so we'll see what it does. Denimal says, hello, everyone. Hello. Denny says Zelda. Oh, Legend of Zelda. Yeah, okay, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, barehandedness makes no usefulness unless there's something interesting with it. I mean, I think it's cool to have like barehanded or like no weapon to start as like part of this like incremental, like just one more level to upgrade. But then at the same time, later you get some like items that makes barehandedness something actually a legitimate strategy that could be like, oh my gosh, I could do this. I want to try to go for this run or go for this build. I think that's kind of the nature of roguelike in general. Denimal says, hello. Kendi says, nope, they released new software. Looks cool to me. Oh, really? I need to go take a look later. What kind of software? Type it in the chat. I'll be back. I'm going to grab some napkin, paper towel, whatever. By the way, if you're on Twitch, we have new emotes for tier 1, tier 2, and just regular followers. The Fig, our cat, resident cat related emotes. Spam them if you can to showcase our, what do you call, privilege. Kendi says they're focusing games this time, it seems. New software looks... I need to look at this. Raytheon, thanks for the follow. Let's see. Apple, new software. What does that mean? Games app? Weird. I mean, it is relevant. Doesn't really say much. I'll be interested in checking it out, like what the benefit of this is as opposed to, I mean, it's perfectly working fine already. So I don't know if this is going to be more like for driving traffic and stuff like that, but we'll take a look later. Kendi says they're focusing on game this time. It seems. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to check it out. Kurt says, did you see the news? Godot 4.5 Dev 5 came out. It is going to be the last dev update. Oh, I saw the 4.5 release candidate, the latest one. Oh, is this even? Yeah, see, this is what I was talking about. They're releasing Abstract Class. Abstract Class is kind of like critical in some sense, some ways, for making like plugin or like external library, because you can make abstract classes to allow your users, like plugin users, to like extend in order to use it properly. So I'm mostly excited about the abstract class being supported in GDScript. So probably this will really allow me to make stuff like Dungeon Generator plugin, or or like a top-down RPG plugin or whatever. That will be interesting. Yeah, Coolly Draw with the fig emote. We have the little. Here, I'm gonna spam them too. Wait, how do I? I don't even know how to look at my emote. Oh, wait. Do new emotes require some time to get registered? Yeah, how come I can't use my own emote? The heck? Oh, I guess it takes time. Oh. Devlo as 7 fig. Is there? Huh. Clearly, I have no idea how to use emotes. Well, whatever. Maybe it'll come through tomorrow. Kurt says, if you're going to release this game, when are you planning to release it? No idea. I mean, hopefully within 2 months, I'll have a demo and a Steam page, because I need this devlog out. I'm making this for a devlog, the whole free versus paid asset comparison. So it's going to be there. Inomoth says, Twitch have to approve those new emotes. It takes some time. Oh, I see. So it'll take a while. Kendi says, what kind of games are you building, though? Okay, so I have several games. The one that we're working on right now is a roguelike dungeon crawler about crafting. So it's like Enter the Gungeon. We just finished dungeon generation, some resource gathering, some basic enemies. What else? We have the boss. It's somewhere in here. We gotta find the boss here real quick. Since every time there's a new person, I have to be like, here it is. Look at this. I mean, you get the gist. A little bit of bullet hell, a little bit of crafting, a little bit of running over and over again, same thing. A little bit of environmental storytelling, all those things. And then this one is for a devlog, actually, because I wanted to do an experiment on using free assets only, and then using paid assets only, because I never used pre-made assets. So this is like an experiment on what it's like to use a pre-made assets. And then I have the other one called Dread on Arrival, which is crew management spacefaring game with like elements like FTL. It's mostly I'm taking inspiration from Outer Wilds. So that kind of storytelling, a little environmental loop, planning, crew management thing. Well, Darkest Dungeon is also another example that I'm taking inspiration from. And then I have Blood is Mana, which is a tactics game like Into the Breach, but you control your characters with your deck. So it's a deck builder tactics game. So I have 3 games ongoing. Right now we're focusing on the dungeon crawling thing. We're working on our items. Okay, so I'm going to make a stone hammer here. And stone hammer is going to take this and then take a little region here. Okay, that's the texture. Item name is going to be called stone hammer. Recipe, I guess this one could just be simple rock salt and then maybe 20 or 15. Fairly easy. Doesn't require any other items. The sprite frames, is probably going to be the same sprite frame as the base character's weapon. There it is. This will probably have to change eventually, but we're going to make a copy of this. Then we'll say stone hammer. Paste, make unique. We're probably going to update it too. Actually, I didn't even need to do that, huh? Item, weapons, hammer. 32 by 32 maybe? Yeah. So by default, and then it's going to go through all of this. Then add one last frame. Boop, boop. Okay. So we have that set up. And we're saying the copper hammer. I don't know. Okay. Upgrading the material of... you know what? It's okay. I'm not going to think too much. I'll consider this later, okay? Okay, so the thing that I was considering is if you have to upgrade a basic where it's like naturally it goes up, up like a tree of item upgrades, there's a satisfaction of taking that one weapon and keep building it. But then there's also a feeling of like, okay, it was just like linear progression. So there might be some different variations of the hammer. Oh, maybe it shouldn't be just like generic enhancement. Maybe depending on what gem you use, these weapons can turn into something completely different. Okay. That's what I'm going to do. Inomath says, Twitch have to... Oh, no, I already read that. Candy says, hey man, keep it up, bro. This year is for indie game devs. I love that. It's been for indie game devs for a while now, and it's getting better and better, I think. We are here. We're going to indie dev quite a bit and support other indie devs. I'm excited for all the indie games. I think a lot of people are getting exhausted from all the AAA shenanigans. So here we are. Courage says, can I see that game, Dread on Arrival? Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, so let's get this. You already said that. Unless you are somehow retyping it by mistake. Connick says, hello, hi. Ugh, I have a slight sinus. I don't know what it is. The weather's been pretty hot recently. And yesterday, I started feeling a little bit like sniffly again. Who knows? I'm allergic to things, so it could just be that. So, Dread on Arrival, here we are. Let's see if you can hear the music too. I don't know if I turned it off. Oh, there it is. It looks like this. Some mysterious machine in the beginning. Work in progress. This part, we're probably going to change it. The beginning, we've decided that we're going to make it so that there's going to be some combat tutorial in the beginning. Combat event tutorial. And then once that is done, you're going to arrive in this town thing. Work in progress. And then, obviously you can have little story within the thing. Like that. Doesn't matter. And then there's a whole like assigning your crewmate with some tasks. And then, okay, this is bugged out right now. But, this is a game. I guess that's that. Blood is Mana right now is not running because I was making a lot of change graphically, so we'll see how that goes. But the playable version is on my itch page, so you can see a demo version if you'd like to see. But yeah, this is where we're at. Candy Strike says AAA are just like money grab at this point, to be honest. Yeah, just reusing IP to get people hyped. Gameplay might or might not be relevant. It's like a huge hit or miss. I think indie game is always like at least interesting. for the most part. I know there are cases where it's not, but more than not, because they wouldn't risk. When you don't have much resource, you wouldn't risk being a game dev if you don't have a, I guess, idea that you feel passionate about, I think. Courage says that's bad for GTA 6. I have to say I've never been a GTA player, so I actually don't know what that's like to wait on GTA 6. Okay. So. Oh. My neck's so stiff right now. Tired. Okay. So we have Stonehammer. We're not going to worry about all of these right now. We're going to say the player already has a Stonehammer, but that's not my problem. Let's add, I don't know, something interesting. Let's see what kind of character items we're working with here. We got under, is it under items? This one is under map. Wonder if there's any, no, these are just dungeon tiles. Once again, I'm using free assets right now, so sometimes I just don't know where things are. That's one of the downsides of using pre-made asset, is that the division of the sprites is not always most reasonable. You have to figure out yourself. These are players. Interactable is something else. This has something. Oh, these have some weapons and items here. Okay, so I'm gonna grab those under enemy and sprites and just kind of split it out real quick. Rogue mine here. Character, enemy, sprites. We got these. Okay. No pickaxe, which, yeah, I don't know. Should people be able to have multiple weapons, I guess? That's another question, huh? I guess they should. You know what? I want something more relic relevant. I'll add the sledgehammer. I'll add the sledgehammer, and then I'll add sword, I guess, because this gives an interesting idea of like, oh, like some weapons might be good at killing things, but it's not really good at mining things. And I think you want to be able to like switch between the two, maybe. Cooley says people love variety. Yeah, they do. Courage says, why don't you make your own free assets? I do make my own free assets. Free assets. I guess it's paid assets right now. I guess I should make it name your own price. I just started making, well, okay, so part of this experiment is because I decided that I'm going to start making assets. So this is my asset that I'm selling. So I released this and I was thinking like, I wonder what makes people want to buy these things. So I started making kind of thought experiment of like, okay, well, I got to get into the heads of the people who are buying these things. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to try making or using assets only to make a game. See what I need so I can better understand my customer. Hold on, I'll be back. I got to blow my nose again. This stream allergy, man. Here I am. Here I am. Kurt says, "Oh yeah, see, you didn't even know about that, and you calling yourself a mod? Tisk tisk. You're well trial mod. You still have, I think, until July to prove yourself, I suppose." Interview process here. Void says BRB. Denimal says he's allergic to us. I know. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I wish I wasn't allergic to you guys, but I am. Okay. Sledgehammer seems like it would be really good at breaking stuff, like the rocks, but it's really bad at really slow. Should it be slow? I feel like Sledgehammer would be like really strong, but slow, right? Bigger knockback, right? Slow, hits hard, bigger knockback. I don't know why you would need that. I guess it's good for like being swarmed, perhaps. Oh, this is bad. Hold on. I might need to change its orientation, because we need to leverage from the tip, right? So it needs to be bigger. Let's say it is like 64 by 64 for now, and then I'll trim it down. Let's say it goes from here. There you go. To here. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. And then we'll insert one more frame here. Do a little ghosting to see what's going on. Okay. And then this probably have a smear frame of, ooh, from here to here, right? Goes like that. And then this goes like that. Something like that. Hello. There you go. I might have to get the color scheme out real quick. Oh, shoot. I just closed the Twitch chat. I don't know what you guys are saying, if you're saying anything. Here. Okay. Whew. I'm back. Courage says, I'm ready to get graded out of mod school. Void is my teacher. Oh, I see. Well, then Void will grade you. Void will tell me if you've passed or not. Okay, let's see. Items, weapons, hammer here. We got the nice little color sprite here. I set this right here for this one. Mostly the highlight, because smearing, you see the brightest part. Okay, so we'll do the same thing here. So mostly highlight, and then we'll see a little bit of gray, and then a little bit of tracking, right? So we go, whoop. We'll figure it out, don't worry. Something like this. I go, whoop. And I gotta now clean up the lines. So I'm paying attention here. Probably should be more like this. Smoother arc. It should probably fill up all of this, honestly. And then I gotta make sure I draw this, get rid of the ghosting real quick so I can actually see what I'm doing. Yep. A little bit of trail. I think. You know, honestly, I never understood exactly this theory behind the smear frame, like in terms of color theory. Like, I feel like what it is that when it's moving really fast, you see the brightest part, mostly. But nobody has told me that's actually the case. Like, there's no rule that's out there that explains this exactly. It's, for me at least, is mainly the feel. Like I look at this and I go, that looks about right, but I will never know if it's actually right. I don't know if it'll ever be more than that. Should probably have the little bit of blue parts trailing as well. Now, I think the white just looks better. So I'll keep the whites. And then the weight's gonna work with this one. Also, I closed the hammer, but Candy says, if you don't mind me asking, how does player progression work in your game? Okay, so roguelike, right? So every run is a fresh run. You have a mining components within the levels, right? You go down further and further. Player goes in, they gather resources, find a crafting table, and crafting table will randomly roll available recipes based on what recipes have been unlocked. They can upgrade or craft in order to help themselves with the run. Another choice is that they can take the resources and send it up with either a minecart or an elevator to take the resources, give up the resources for the run so that you can use it for upgrading overworld. So you can go to the hub world after every run, whatever, or when you give up the run. And in the overworld, obviously you'll have like recipe sellers, basically like a lot of the NPCs that'll unlock recipes for you. So it's like, it's still random in that the crafting table will show random recipes that are based on some logic. So like you're not guaranteed to get certain things every time, but basically that's the kind of thing. And then every run feels fresh. More recipe means more capability of having a build. During the dungeon run, you can go to a secret room, find these things, different components to progress the story and collect more NPCs and such. I mean, that's the idea, at least. In my head, that looks fun, or that sounds fun. I think we've already had this discussion a few times. And yeah, okay, there it is. So it seems like when I'm smearing, I got to smear at the destination. So we got to go like that. And then we have this. We got boop, 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 like that. And go like that. Okay. If that makes sense. At least that's the gameplay for this one. We do have a design doc we wrote together in the stream. So we do have some idea of gameplay. It's not just randomly residing in my head. But it is subject to change. I will admit that. Okay. Okay, there it is. So if we do one of these things. Man, this is, yeah, I'm gonna just keep it bright colored. Let's see what this looks. Good enough. I mean, it's definitely missing something, but you know, once again, this is the limitation of, we're assuming that the reason we're using free asset is in the first place that we don't have the time or the skill sets to do paid or make our own anyways. So it wouldn't be too crazy. Like so. Kind of looks like fire burning this. Yeah, I'm looking at this mostly. Good enough, I guess I should fill this part up a little bit. And yeah, I think that's okay, maybe? Yeah, good enough. Okay, we're going to call that sledge. Uh-huh. We'll make a sprite sheet. Layout here, export that. Candy says, kind of like Hades, right? Yes, kind of like Hades. And kind of like Enter the Gungeon. It's like a classic roguelike dungeon crawler where every run is fresh and random, but you know, you upgrade the run overall between the run by gathering resources to either upgrade your chances, like being able to purchase rerolls, right? Those are typical upgrades in Rogue Lights, and then increasing the arsenal. One thing that is different from Hades and why it's more like Gungeon is that you don't start with just starting weapon and then you stick with it. It's that you go in and you craft. So there we are. Kenny says, one more thing I noticed when you fought that boss, it lacks impact. So if you could introduce something like a screen shake, it would be awesome. Yeah, I think that would be an awesome addition to it. Thank you for that. Right now, I am definitely focusing on just getting the implementation working for some of the basic features to have the vertical slice, so to speak, of the game. Maybe this is good. I like this, actually. Maybe there needs to be like an impact frame where it goes bum, 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 and then it's like I don't know. Not now. Okay, that's too much work, honestly. Here, export sprite sheet. Yes. Okay, sledgehammer is edit. We're going to add that now on the item, weapon. We got resource, item resource, sledge, stone sledge. That's going to take the sledge here. Well, I guess it should be Atlas first. Atlas. And then we're going to take this in. Edit region. We'll just take this right here. Okay, cool. And this is crafted stone sledge. And recipe will take, I don't know, what should it take? Should it be an iron weapon? No, it's a stone. So we'll get this to be like 30. That's all it requires. Pretty simple. We're going to make a new sprite frame here, which I guess I could just paste instead. Oh, I can't. So I'll do that. We got the default, and then the swing, I believe, is what we've been calling it. Let me take a look. Yeah, default and a swing. Wait, what the heck? The stone one is not using the stone one. I gotta, hold up, make unique, save. Why does it keep using the copper one? Weird. Item, weapons, hammer, 30 to 32. Use that. The swing will use hammer. Thanks for the follow, Kendi. Okay. Oh, whoops, YouTube. Terabyte says, hello, hello, Terabyte. Courageous BRB. Infamous Pecco says, how's your day? What environment are you using to develop your game? I am Are you talking about like the OS? Because I'm on Windows machine, but I am using Godot as the engine, if that's what you're asking. My game engine of choice is Godot. And that's most of our content here in this channel. It does well with what we want, if we had to say. Wait, I don't understand. Hold on. Even though I made it unique, this one is that. And I come over here. I just updated this. Look. Hello? That's kind of crazy. All right, I'm just going to make a new one. Because clearly it's broken. Note to self. The copying resources doesn't seem to work properly for the animation sprite. I'm going to call this swing again. Okay, hopefully it'll update this time. Uh-huh. And then basically we want, I think the swing animation, we want it like 10 FPS. Okay, cool. Come here. This one will be 10. Stone Sledge, probably same thing. We'll have swing here. And this one is actually 64 by 64. Boom, boom, boom. And then go back to normal. We'll call this 10 as well. And then by default, it looks like this. Okay, 3 items. Infamous Paco says, nice, thank you. Yeah, I was wondering what game engine you were using. Yeah, no problem. Well, Godot is great. It has a lot of useful function. I also have tutorials in this channel, so can't go anywhere. Courage says, Ez, did you see Covino's new game? No, I haven't seen Covino's new game. The Jiggle Jam game? Hey, if it comes over and tells me to play his game, I'll try it. Okay. So we got the sledge, we got the hammer, we got the copper. We probably should make something that is built with iron as well. And then maybe a copper sledge. I don't know what the copper sledge would do though. What would a copper sledge do even? Just stronger? Seems a little lame. Just increase hardness and damage? I suppose. Like it's just like a minor upgrade to an existing thing. Okay. Probably. Anyways, we're going to do that for now. We probably should do iron as well. Wizdy, thanks for the follow on Twitch. Kurt says, no, the clicker game. Oh, the cookie clicker? You know, I haven't seen it either. Dr. Zool says, copper equals electric. Hi. Yeah, maybe it has a conducting element. But then thing is like all metals do too. So I don't know. It doesn't matter. The reason doesn't matter as long as the gameplay is interesting. Okay, so we have the stone hammer, which you can build. We're going to say players are going to start with bare hand. It would be cool to have a knuckler, but I mean, I guess we do need to make an iron version of all of this as well. Okay, you know what? I'm going to make an iron version. So let's say we're not going to do the sword just yet. Let's say we made a copper version of this already. So we're going to probably make a iron version of this, which I guess I should get my iron ore real quick. Items, resource, no. None of the, oh. Ores and gems, ores and gems. We have the iron here. We'll take this color scheme real quick. Mid-tone, dark tone. I think that's it. Light, dark, mid-tone, and then the shadow tone, I suppose. And then we probably need a green shift version of this. which would probably be just iron. I think I'll hit one of these things. Perhaps. Yeah. So we'll go like this, like this, like this, and then over here we'll hit it with this, and then this one hits this. I mean, only problem is that it's very similar to the stone version, right? I might have to change the stone version to look different. Oops. And I also need to export this as iron hammer. I might actually change the look of the stone hammer completely. Unfortunately, whoa, actually, honestly, stone looks more iron. Right? I suppose so. I guess this should be the iron, honestly. Here, export. I'm going to make this into an iron. Iron hammer. Yes. And then make sure the copper stays the same. This is the copper. I just exported as an iron hammer. I think for stone, it needs to be a lot more flat and jagged, I think. So we'll do that. Not as much shine. And then not as regular. It's going to be a little bit irregular here. Like so. Maybe like that. That looks a little bit more stony, right? I think so. Yeah, right? Yeah. Okay, that looks more convincing, I think. And we'll do one of these things. And then change the shape. Take this and twist it around, and we'll clean up. Do one of these things and then clean up. Like so. Once again, everyone, we're doing a challenge here, so I'm sorry if it doesn't look great, but then the whole point is that we're trying to use a free asset. So like if I were to design this from scratch, I might not do this. So just be mindful of that and don't judge my ability. But I think this will do, honestly. It's not too bad. Could be worse, honestly. Like so. This might have to dip down a little bit to give more room. And then this one, I think, will shift the shading a little bit more. Open it up here. There you go. Good enough. Still ugly, but it works. Geez. Courage says, followage. I don't know what that means. Oh, yeah, I still don't have that. Wait, there's no number one clipper. Ezra, can you make a bot on stream? Oh, yes, you changed the name of the channel points. Where's Void? I don't know. I don't know how to do any of these things. It'll have to be done off stream later because I need some research. Cooley says, that definitely looks more stone primitive-like. Yes, awesome. As long as it translates well. Let's see. Streampunk says, make copper a fun gameplay upgrade. Increase speed of strikes with iron to reduce the tediousness. Let copper summon the copper gods. When I do like that kind of idea. I mean, those are the kind of upgrades I really like to get behind. Only thing, I guess, that I need to worry about here is, let's see, just a sec. Is the scope creep of having to implement this. Because I do want a vertical slice where it's like the concept is there, so I can get the demo out real quick, so I can test the important part. And obviously the upgrades being a certain way is part of the test, but I also don't want to like over-index on like trying to get these things done that I don't even have a gameplay yet. So we'll see. Revi says, I'm over here now. Hello again. I prefer this chat. Twitch chat is much more fun for sure. But I will keep those ideas in mind. At least for the gems, we're thinking about enhancements. And I'm thinking like, instead of being like a generic enhancement, I want everything to be unique. Like, yes, malachite means yield increase in general. But then like that doesn't mean it's going to make the hammer green. It's going to be a completely different identity of hammer that comes like with the effect. Like, what does it, how, the way it expresses yield increase may be different. You know what I mean? Terabyte says, when fully charged, it slams the ground to release a copper-powered shockwave that pushes back enemies and activates nearby mechanism or traps, perfect for crowd control into. Oh, I do like that. I do like the whole like charging aspect. I really need to do these things, huh? Okay. Keep them coming. And then I'll somehow keep note. I know it feels impossible, but I'll somehow keep note. Just a second. Let me take care of some personal business real quick. But I do like all these ideas. Let's see. But first of all, we'll pause all those options and thoughts and focus, right? Focus on making the shop because that's where we were. So when the level gets started, out of all the available recipes, which needs to be its own variable, we're going to have to choose a certain amount. So we just need a function where the recipe is chosen. Level generator right now is dungeon generation. So we need a separate logic that handles a shop logic. So we're going to probably level setup, I suppose. I'm sure there's one already. And that happens over here in the ready. We're generating the level with the level generator. We're rendering the level. We're starting the level. And I think start of the level is probably where we have to go. Populate craft table or choose craft table components, right? Yeah. Eunice Game says, good. Well, okay, great. Thanks for saying that it's good. Murphy says, for combat, consider adding hit stop. Hit stop? What's a hit stop? It makes a world of difference. Like it stops the hammer when it hits? I gotta say I'm not familiar with this. Sounds like a magic world. Infamous Pecco says, do you think Godot is the best option for a very early on beginner? Or do you think it's all based on type of game being developed? I mean, it really is hugely based on the type of game you're trying to make. But I would have to say for the most part, especially if you're planning on doing a 2D, I think Godot is a top option, in my opinion. And it's really hard to deny that, I think. Sorry, I'm just trying to take care of this still. Sorry, just a sec. Okay. Denimal says, hello, Revy. Revy says, here's a nice video on hit stop. Oh, no. Link. I don't have a link. Please post it on our Discord under resource. Yeah. Thanks. I will watch it as long as there's no music that I'm going to get flagged by. Machine says Godot script looks so much like JavaScript. It's like very much like JavaScript, but it's more like Python script from what I can tell. Infamous Pecco says, I'm thinking my first one would be TCG type game, and the second idea is a game kind of based on Rising of the Shield, which I'm not familiar with, where you select a weapon and can research things and they incorporate with your weapon. Oh, that's pretty cool. I do like that idea. Yes. Let's see. TCG things should work. I mean, that was my first tutorial video that did really well on YouTube. It's actually my main moneymaker at the moment, which is kind of funny. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So I think like it's not trading card game. It's more like regular like roguelike deck builder is a tutorial. But yeah, no, I think Godot would be perfect for that if you want that. I do know for a fact that people also use Game Maker for that kind of stuff too, but you know, for each own. For now, this is what it is. Let's see. What do we got here? Start level. We're gonna now decide on the table here. Okay, table logic. Let's think about this. We have the crafting table shop window, which keeps track of displaying certain things. So here we need to decide all the information on what gets populated. And when the window opens, we populate those things, and then the window will have all those items set on it. That means I kind of want a separate code, like the helper code that messes with everything that has to do with shop or craft. And so I think that might be able to live in utility for me, technically. And I might actually make a ref counted script. Or should I do a node so I can access it immediately? I mean, technically all I need is a data, but if it has a node presence, at least I can call it from I can have it in the scene tree. So it's like visibly in the scene tree. Let me think about this. Okay. I feel like it needs to be a ref counted and should be in the global script. Don't you think so? Yeah, the utility, if it is instantiated utility, then it needs to keep track of what is and is not happening. Oh, you know what? Okay, I think I'm just going to make it a static class. Thanks for the follow, Boss Scans. Denimal says, I always do the node way, but I'm sure both are valid. Yeah. Revy says music seems valid or safe. Thank you. Okay, here it is. Hit stop. Revy introduced me to a hit stop. Said it makes a world of difference. Make sure I have a hit stop. So here I'm going to watch a video on that, a short video. Oops. Let's see. Let me just make sure the volume is not too crazy here. I don't know. I do hear background music. It's okay. If the stream gets flagged, it's okay. Okay. Wow, this is kind of cool. I didn't know Masahiro Sakurai had the creating game videos. Hit stop. Hit stop と. Oh, like the pause where it go. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, for the impact. Okay. I can see why that might be. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Is there more information here that I should be aware of? He even has a book. Oh, that's pretty cool. I should check it out. Revi says, yeah, he's got a ton. He's very open with his wisdom. You know what? Subscribe. This is very useful. As a game dev, I didn't know that. This is a pretty cool tool. The zoom effect is pretty cool, yeah. I mean, this is like... referring to stop effect you see when you defeat a boss. Yeah, a little slow. Yeah, all of that. Okay, well, I don't have to watch the whole thing. So I get the point of hit stop. I subscribe to the channel so I can go look for it now. It's very cool. Cool information. So if you guys have any more resource or dev discussion or like the knowledge in game design or whatever, make sure you post it in our Discord to share. Share and comment. It's great. Very good. Thanks for sharing that, Revi. Let's see. Courage is back. Machine says, how is it like Python? You don't know what you're talking about. Literally unwatchable. Yeah. Reason I say it's like Python, right, is because it is indentation sensitive. It's also type insensitive, but I am making it typed on purpose, which is like JavaScript as well. And I do not know what I'm talking about because I never worked with Python, but I've worked mostly with Java and JavaScript and TypeScript in my career. The devs of GDScript, Godot developers, they literally based this on Python. That's why it's Python-like. But, you know, like, well, to each own, as I said. Courage says, so what you're working on? I'm working on my shop. Streampunk says, using the copper makes the combat into a dating sim. The player is yonder. Oh my gosh, the best idea so far. Revi says, that's the gist of it, but he goes into more detail and gives more example. This is an extremely detailed example for sure. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Demo says, it'll make you feel like you're actually bonking them. Haha, I like it. Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. Only thing is that because this is not a fighting game, like I see that it's really impactful in these like fighting games. Only thing is like if there's a swarm of effect, there might be some dial you need to probably dial down in order to get it to like feel right without stopping the gameplay altogether. Kudo says, or if you're a Python person, you would call it Pythonic. is that actually what it's called? Kudo says, that would always sound so cringe for some reason. I never heard that phrase before. That's pretty funny. Revi says, even just an instant of a stop is huge. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know how I would do it because I've never done it, but that is a discovery and a video, right? I could be like, how to do a hit to stop pull on Godot. Yeah, that's going to be a video. SirDrippy6969 says, hi, I am new here. Can I ask, what is this stream about? This stream is game dev stream, especially we're making games in Godot, and we make games. Right now, we're doing very specific type of game making. I'm taking a little bit of challenge to make a dungeon crawler game like Enter the Gungeon and Hades, but about mining. That's where we're at. I'm surprised that you found my stream randomly. That's pretty cool. Revi says, how do you hit stop in Godot? Yeah, exactly. What is hit stop? Or here's a better title. Let's see. Jeez. Okay. It needs to be Smash related, right? It's going to be like how hit stop makes Smash 100x better, or something more catchy like that. I guess I don't know. There's probably a better way. I need to workshop that title, but yes, something along that line would be good. Denimal says, we all watch Ezra struggle to feel better about ourselves. I mean, that is part of it. That is part of it. Sometimes I have wisdom, sometimes I don't. Courage says, all right, gotta go. I'll be watching while game deving, but I won't talk. Bye. Okay, bye, Courage. Thanks for being around, I guess. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Oh, Revi says, make your game more impactful with hit stop in Godot. Exactly. It would be great if it's like 2 words less. How about that? Hook your players with hit stop. Or this trick makes your players, or this trick will make your player like, I don't know, something like players can't stop playing or whatever. Mechrobic says Godot plus hit stop equals impactful. That's a good one too. That's a good one too. Hits that. It's really concise. And then, like, obviously, it'll be a thumbnail of Super Smash Bros. Characters, but then in Godot face. Exactly. Or he says, this trick leaves an impact in Godot. I love that too. Mechrobic says, then you put a thumb from Game Crit 10 out of 1, or 1 out of 10 and 10 out of 10. Yeah, exactly. I love that. We're all content makers here in this humble day. All right, I got to use the restroom. I think I drank too much water. I'll be back, guys. Stick around. I know. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I washed my hand, I swear. Denimal says, I like the clickbait title, like, hit stop. What AAA studios don't want you to know. Oh my God, that's a good one too. That should be the caption. We can make a short. All right, somebody write a short script. Basically copy that video, and then we'll just make it and I'll post it. Like, you know, that's such a, like, because it's like such a concise information and it has such like virality and then like a hidden like buzzword and a lot of relativity. Relativity is kind of a weird thing to say. I think that'll actually be a really good short. All right, don't copy my idea. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this today. Now I got to outsource my script writing. Somebody, just kidding. I'll probably figure it out. But I think that's a great idea. All right. Okay. So craft table, we said we're going to make a resource. Ref count it is cool and all, but I think I'm going to make a node presence because, you know, as much as I hate having to free the nodes, I do like seeing it physically represented to see what all components exist in this scene tree. Denwell says, too late, I already posted. Hey, it's okay. I can just copy it and I can find your posted video and copy it and just dub it with my own voice. All right. We said we're going to make a shop generator or shop helper, maybe. Shop helper. And then we're going to say shop helper here under util. Okay. Shop helper. And I guess mainly, thanks for the follow, Sir Drippy. We're going to say function roll shop. This way we can also re-roll it, right? I suppose that also means we need to keep track of what are the available recipes. So we'll have available recipes. And I think those are simply resources here. So it's going to be array of item resource. Oh, excuse me. I don't know how I'm going to populate this. Like where it should be populated. Obviously, there should be a configurable population. So to start, by default, you know what? That allows me to have this. So if I make a branched scene out of this, right? Shop helper. And this could double as configuration. Yeah. So this can be the scene called shop helper. And if I do this as an export, and if I assign it in the scene itself, what are all available, then no matter where I use it, unless I delete this, this will be the beginning resource, right? So we're going to have stone hammer, we're going to have a copper hammer, and let's rename the stone sledge to iron sledge, right? So sledge is going to take 50 rock salt and let's say 3 irons. I don't know. This is very ambiguous measurement, but you know. So we have a stone hammer, which takes 15 stone. Copper hammer takes a stone hammer plus 25 rock salt and 3 copper. I really like number 3, huh? Oh my gosh, I just scratched off a scab. I'm bleeding everywhere. All right. The next one will be the iron one. Resource. We're out of resource. We're going to make an iron hammer. I guess the sledge should be more expensive. Here, like that 5 iron. Copper hammer, let's say it requires 5 and then 25. So benefit of the hammer is that it can slowly increment in its upgradeness. So this one, I will take the weapon iron hammer here. Well, I should probably make it Ellis. Frying Walk says, glad you're liking my game engine, mate. Is this your game engine, Godot? Did you make it? Yo, anyone told you you look like Justin Sung from YouTube? I have no idea. Maybe we do look alike. I don't want to... I'm not familiar with who that is, unfortunately. But I appreciate, I mean, is this another software developer, content maker? That wouldn't surprise me. Let's see. On YouTube, Streampunk says there's too many Python people in this dang plane. Yeah, you know what? I don't know what's up with that. You know, when I was starting computer science, it was all Java. That was the next thing because there were so many like web-based websites and backends are always using Java. Terabyte Gaming says, hey, I'm not super experienced with Godot yet, but I think I kind of get what's going on. Maybe try moving the spawn logic into helper function. Could make the start level cleaner. Okay, so you're saying move the spawn logic. You mean spawning of the character? This one? Could make the start level cleaner. Yes, I think you're right. I think it should also go to something else. You know, the way I do this sometimes is that overall structure, I do have like some sort of like programming pattern in mind. But with that in mind, some of the details, I still like to clump it into a single line because I'm not like married to a certain idea. And I hate writing a function and naming a branched out code and then just deciding that I'm not going to use it anymore, you know? So I like to like make things work, then break it apart. But I do think you're right, Terabyte, that we do want to make the spawning logic separate so we can reuse it in different manners. Very smart, very smart. Terabyte also says, if the game gets bigger, just a thought. Yeah, for sure. I think that's 100% correct. Anyways, so over here, shop helper, we got the copper, we got the stone. We were making an iron. Guys, see, this is how I get. You know, I don't know how anyone does anything in stream. Honestly, it is the most distracting thing ever. Actually, you know what? If I actually want to get things done, I just don't get online. I just do it off stream. Okay, this one's going to be 35. That's still cheaper than Sledge, I think. And then for iron amount, we'll probably just do 3 iron, negative 30. And then it requires us to have, what is it? The copper hammer. There you go. And the sprite frame, we're going to have a default and the swing, we're calling it, I think. And that would be right here. 30 to 32. 10 FPS. Add base again. And then we're going to have a default value here. We have the sledge, iron, and we said sledge is currently costing us, well, this should be called just regular sledge. Rename sledge. Or we should call it sledgehammer. Okay. Copper hammer is going to be now officially regular copper hammer. Copper hammer. Sledge is going to take 100 stone and 5 iron. Maybe it's too much. Maybe 60 is sufficient. 100 seems a little bit... Like, this needs to be significantly better if this is what people are going to use. Let's see. Streampunk says, Terabyte, try to think of it as getting in on the ground floor of a gaming movement. Being on Godot? Yeah. Everybody should be on Godot, I think. At least try it out. I think it's a great tool. Okay. So we were saying the available resources to start with would be stone, copper, iron hammer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the sledge be one of the first unlocks. That recipe will be received from beating that boss. So that it gives that little like upgrade feel for this like one vertical slice. So when we're rolling, I think we're going to say shop size probably. So we will have export var shop size. Okay, so the pause is, this is a crafting shop, and that's not the only shop that's available. So if I want to make it generalizable, then I might probably need to call it or do something differently. But for now, I'm just going to say this is just crafting for only. We're going to have a variable shop size, which I guess by default have 3. I mean, I guess the question is, should the upgrade craft be always available? So I know we said some of the other recipes are random. Because it will feel awful to have a hammer and you just need one more upgrade, but then the roll is just bad. But that's part of the game, you know? Is it? Or what if you roll an upgrade that you don't have the base component for? I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's okay. We're going to say shop size is 3 for now. There are a few things to consider here. That's for sure. No doubt. No doubt. Let's see. Oh my goodness. My head hurts. It's probably all the tension. Do you guys ever do this where like you over massage and stretch your like neck tension, where now it's like actually doing worse than if you didn't massage it? That's what I'm going through right now. Okay, so roll shop is simple. We just go, I suppose it should probably spit out the result like so. Should it keep track? Level should keep track. So this is going to be on helper, and then the level will contain what shop has been rolled. That information is a level's responsibility. Helper's responsibility is only for configuring. Okay, configuring and generating. So it'll probably be like var result will be array of item resource here. And then I suppose the best way to do this is probably bad. For I shop size, result will equal to available recipes. There it is, because this is shuffling it, right? A reason I'm not just like doing pop is because I don't want to change what's in here. This is considered static. So I'm shuffling this, and I don't want to have to copy it every time. So, and if I do pick random, so alternatively, I think people could have said, hey, why don't you just do pick random? If I do pick random, there's a chance of getting the element I already picked. So in the 3 roll, you might get stone hammer, stone hammer, stone hammer, which kind of defeats the purpose. And I don't want to do the whole like check if it has been rolled already and then re-roll if it is. That's like doubling the effort. So I'm just shuffling the original one and then going through iteration up to the number of the shop size to just get those items. So it's effectively doing the same thing where no duplicates. I'm grabbing every one of them. And then we have a result, I think. There you go. Daniel says, my wife does that all the time with her hips. She just nonstop stretching to make it feel better, but I'm 90% sure she's making it worse. Haha. Yeah, sometimes you can overstretch because then, it becomes loose. So then other tight parts will other tight parts will like overstretch your stretched out parts. So you need to do both strengthening and stretching from what I can understand. But, sometimes you just take the painkiller and make the pain go away. I think I'm going to do that, honestly. It might be allergy. Should I take the allergy medicine instead of the painkiller? I don't know. My eyes feel a little bit drowsy. Sneezing, runny nose. I think it's sinus pressure, actually. I can kind of feel it in my head. Dr. Zool says, perhaps check when shop size is larger than available recipes. Yes, I should. But technically, I already put 3 in here, right? Okay, fine. I'll do that here. Minimum of shop size and available recipe size. There you go. It's effectively doing the same thing. So it'll take either the shop size or the available recipes size. And so it'll return basically at most the amount of available recipes. Good point, Dr. Zool. Good point. I like to get sloppy sometimes. We got that. We got the level here. So over here we set, hey, we have a shop helper now. I guess this should go as the level generator. And then the shop helper, we're just going to go, well, actually. We got roll shop, which will give us the shop result here. Mikori says, deep squats, 12 deep squats redeemed. Here we go, everyone. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the zoom is a little different today. I changed the zoom on the camera to capture more of the world, the biome that we're working with, the biome that is my room. As you can see, my green screen is very black. You can see the outside. For those of you guys just joining us today, the rule is that sometimes you guys can redeem little exercises for us, but that is not just for me, it's for everyone. So the idea is you guys are going to be doing the squats with me here. 12 deep squats, slow descent, bursty upward movements, I think is the rule here. All right, here we go. Like this, maybe like this. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna change this. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. Solid squat right there, I'd say, if I have to say so myself. Denwell says, fine, but I'm charging per squat. Oh, you're charging per squat. What are you charging? Man, this headache is not going away. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. We'll be fine. Let's stick around a little bit. Do be careful. There's some new virus going around right there. I don't think I would have caught that right now, given that I don't really meet anyone. Weird. Some spam emails. That looks super suspicious. But yes, do be careful. All right, so we have the shop roll in. And once the shop has been rolled, I think... Should I just give it to the UI? Or should UI grab it? Should that be a global variable? I guess it could be. Or... No... Because I want the generation to happen at the beginning of the level, not when it opens. Right? Or should it happen when it opens? No, it should be happening in the beginning of the level, I think. Excuse me. Danimal says, nothing is free as I charge 1 cat meme per squat. Here. Hopefully the emote is available. We got that. Yay! The new emotes are out, everyone. It's available. Look at all these. emotes that got added today. Ta-da! Revi says, Ezra, I forgot. Do you listen to or watch Fantasy High? I'm not religiously following it, but I do watch here and there. I do watch that brand in general. I like the drag queens in Dungeon or something like that. Dungeons and Queens or whatever. That's fun. I am going to the Dimension 20 that's happening in Seattle with you guys, Revi. So we'll be there. It's soon, actually. It was so far away until it wasn't. Revi says, oh, you are? Cool. I couldn't remember. Yeah. We'll see you there. Yeah, July, I think. Yeah, 20th specifically. Which, I guess, 20th, Dimension 20, that has to be intentional. It's just 20th of every month they're doing different cities, maybe. Okay, so we roll the shop. We have the result. Question here is that, do I put the rolled shop into the global config or the level array? Or do I just insert it to the UI immediately? I think I'm going to keep it in the level real quick. So I'll say shop items, and that will be array of resource. No, it was called what? Item resource. Item resource here. And this will be just equaling to this. I guess by default it should have an array here. So the shop gets rolled when the crafting window gets opened. Craft window. We say UI open crafting table. It might be cool to insert the items like that, and we'll just say crafting table items equals items. And so we could go here and have var items array of item resource, which I guess when it gets set, we probably shouldn't do it on the set. Well, when it gets set, if we mark it dirty, the process will update it once. Or we could do when visibility changes, which is crafting window. When visibility changes, I guess I should do it in here. Crafting window, when visibility changes, which is one of these things. If visible, we're going to take the items, item in items, and we're going to craft the line item and insert it, basically. We have a recipe container here to represent the line items. And that's going to be what's being created. Recipe line item. And we're probably going to I suppose it's like if it isn't already set. So I suppose it should happen on set. So if it is set value, we're going to say items will be the value, and then we'll set dirty equals true, where var dirty is false to begin with. And instead of that, we're going to go func process delta float. If it is dirty, then we're going to do some update and flip it off. So we're going to do this item in items. We'll grab recipe line item, instantiate, which will be recipe line. What else? I guess this should be empty by default. Cooley says, Dimension 20 is awesome. My wife and I go to CR shows sometimes. Yeah, those are always fun. I went to a CR show, well, CR panel last PAX. That was fun. I do need to go to some shows soon. Let's see. Expected end of the statement. Oh, 4. I didn't do 4. 4 item in items. Recipe line requires what? Let's see. It requires texture, recipe name, and recipe. So I suppose I could go crafting window. This one recipe line will be called recipe line item. Recipe line icon texture. Recipe line recipe name. Recipe line recipe. And recipe is just an item resource, which I will pass. So it'll be equals this. I suppose the name and icon all exists in the recipe information itself, so I don't really need to express this at all. So I can come here, strike all this, and then recipe line item will be saying, hey, when set, well, I suppose I should do this, is dirty and is node ready. And then same thing for the line item here. We're going to set this dirty. I like the dirty, clean approach and then updating on the process because it makes the writing of if node is ready or not simpler for me. It may add some extra processing per cycle, but I feel like it's not significant enough it to be a problem. Set value, and then we're going to say recipe equals the underscore value, and then dirty is true here. And if that's the case, this one is going to contain the icon, which I suppose we just, where'd it go? We'll say texture rect and label, and simply the label text will equal to the recipe item name, and then texture rects texture will equal to the recipe's icon texture. It'll update eventually. Line item is good. Crafting table is going through and updating it one at a time. And then once that has been set, add child to the container, which is HFlow container here, real quick. Child recipe line. Yep. I think. And definitely before setting it, I think potentially we do want to empty out, clean whatever is existing here. I know sometimes the get children can misbehave because of the whole like queuing free is a delayed thing. So let's see if that works. So we'll go children, get children for child and get children, child queue free. This might be a problem. I always have this problem where if you're doing the queuing free of the components at the same time, immediately populating afterwards, it misbehaves. So I almost want to make the whole freeing of the queue happen before. Like, Randall says, good morning from Melbourne. Just getting ready to drive into work. Love the live stream of thought. Hi, thank you. Welcome. Welcome, Melbourner. Thanks for watching. Stream says, Ezra, what upcoming game are you excited for? I actually low-key kind of want to play that. So as tired of Soul-like as I am, that one anime-looking Soul-like looks interesting. Was it called Code Vein 2? So I was looking at that the other day. That looks fun. I don't know. I haven't seen much like indie game-looking stuff yesterday's Summerfest. Announcements. Let me see if there's anything else that I would be excited about. Summer Game Fest, everything announced. Shall we look? Life of P. I'm looking for something that... Oh, there was one that kind of looked like Shovel Knight. There was like a pixel art one that I was like, oh, this is more along the alleys. Oh, actually, the Sonic racing with the minecart racing. I'd be down to try that out. Not super excited. I do like the 2-player co-op thing. This one looks a little bit gimmicky, but it could be fun. I'm tired of the Soul likes, as I said. This is not even all the list. I don't know where I would see everything. Do I have to go to Steam? No, do I have to open Steam? Rob says, hello, how is the dungeon generation going? Dungeon is generated. Dungeon generation is great right now. So we're doing the shop spawn now. We're making a shop interaction because that's the next part. And someone just asked me what games am I excited for. So I'm looking at the game announcement that happened recently. I don't know where I would see the Summerfest announcement thing without having to watch the video all over again. I don't really see it. Yeah, not much really. Let's see. Let's see. Summerfest indie announcement. That's the more... This is false. I already looked at this, right? Or was that the IGN? Mortal Shell, tired of those, like Berserk inspired. Oh yeah, this one looked funny. The Felt That boxing trailer. That was fun. I would play it. It looks silly. It doesn't look like super serious game, but it could be emotional. This looks interesting. I don't know what that is. But as of right now, off the top of my head, I don't really have much games that I'm really excited for yet. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to be excited about something. There was like the Space Samurai, like basically the Space Sekiro game that looked interesting too. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be open to try everything though. Ooh, you know what I'm excited about right now? Okay, so the next game that I for sure want to play is Silksong. So there it is, Randall. Shrimpunk says, I'm just excited the indie landscape is getting wider with more niche games. Reminds me of PS2 era. Sea Remnants come to mind because of the art style. Yeah, I think indie games does go in and out of the wave. PS2 era was pretty big. I think Nintendo Switch also brought a new boom during that time period. where a lot of people were looking for different games. I think that was because of the COVID, right? Maybe? I don't know. Denwell says, I can't seem to play Soul-like games. I'm just not good at them. Yeah, I mean, it's not very like the way they signal their movements and then the information on how to defeat them is not very obvious, the nature of it. And that's their fault, I think, in some ways. Because, like, yes, every boss has certain design. You're supposed to parry, you're supposed to roll, but like, there's no consistent rule. You're not like, oh, you can always block, or oh, you can't block if this happens. It's like, yeah, you can't block. Sometimes you have to do this. Like, there's no like set movements in order for you to solve a problem. It's more like take a look and learn, try different things, and die. Or search online to see what other people have done it. Because that was my biggest problem with Soul-like, is because like I like the fact that I can parry in Dark Soul. That's not Dark Soul, is it Elden Ring? Whatever. I like the parry mechanics a lot because it's like the timing stuff, and I'm really like good at reacting. But then the parry frame is different per character, and it's not very clear when things can be parried unless you try parrying, which feels random and punishing for no reason. And that's like some of the things that I struggle with Soul-like. Like, there's no like, this is your completely first time through, and then just based on your skill set, you can beat this. There's no chance of that. It's like, you need to know. You need to learn in order to beat something. You know? Which may be a good thing for some people, but yeah. I also don't like that feeling of like intensity too much sometimes. Sometimes I just want to relax when I play a game. Familiarity, I mean. Streampunk says, Souls-like games are so punishing. I ain't got time for that. Yeah. I am going through Sekiro right now for the first time, which is pretty fun. It's a fun game. It's just really punishing, yeah. And punishment is not even like, as I said, it's not avoidable. The punishment is like, no, like that's the point of the game. You will be punished and you have to learn from it. There's no, oh, you're now so good that you can react to avoid the punishment. And I think that's what makes the game not feel fun. Ace, hi. Hello, Ace. Let's see. Rob says, this is my wish list on Steam. Nimoy Survival Sandbox Light. No Fire Lay of the Land. Oh my gosh. These are all separate names. No comma. Just take a look at this. You expect me to read this and make sense of this, Rob? Come on. No shame, but look at this. This is my wish list on Steam. Nimoy Survival. Sandbox Light, No Fire, Lay of the Land, Subnautica 2, KYORA, Enter the Gungeon 2. I mean, I know some of these, so I can read them, but without context, it's kind of hard to see where the game name ends and where it starts. It's pretty funny. But no, Enter the Gungeon 2, I'm kind of excited about too, but I didn't really see the gameplay too much, so I don't know if I should be excited. But from the original, I am excited about that. Subnautica 2, I didn't know they were making a second one. I need to play the first one in the first place. I haven't heard of the other ones, actually. But I will check them out. PM Teddy says, I'm going to be honest, maybe I'm getting old, but I used to get excited, but these days it's just meh. Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. Or similarly, but there are sometimes I get excited about things. Like if somebody made an announcement, I get more excited about seeing the gameplay rather than getting excited for just the IP. Like if somebody was like, we're making another StarCraft, or like we're making another blah, blah, blah. That is like no, I'm tired of just getting excited because of the IP. I want to get excited by looking at the gameplay and that looks fun, you know? Yusuf says, hello, my favorite developer. Aw, hello, Yusuf. Welcome. I'm glad to be your favorite. I don't know how true that is. You're just glazing me here. PM Teddy says, also, if I do like a game, I wait a few years until it's not 70 or more bucks. It's true. Same here. I don't feel as rushed to get games anymore. And besides, if you're a competitive gamer, there's online competitive gaming. I do miss a good MMO where I can feel like there's like a skill involved. There's enough like individual reality of like one-on-ones, but also there's like a group aspect and rating properly and stuff like that. That is not just a massive time sink. That would be nice if there's something like that, but they can't do that because MMO, they need to make money month by month, so they probably purposely, by design, by the design of what MMO is, in order to upkeep the server, they probably need to be a little bit sleazy. 11 Oblomov says, what are the good Godot assets you use the most? You know what? I have no idea. Right now, this is my first time actually using pre-made assets. Typically, I make my own assets. Typically, I do my own plugin, own dialogue plugin and everything. So this has been pretty interesting. So far, the free asset usage has been pretty difficult. I do have to make my own little changes in order to make it work. But once I have a solid pattern, I'm sure that it'll be better. But unfortunately, I can't really answer that question, Oblomov, just because I don't have any experience. But maybe the people who are in the chat can answer instead. Chat, if you have any Godot assets that you use most, let Oblomov know. I guess shaders is one of those things. I do outline shader a lot. That's something fun to grab from. Oblomov says, then here's what we do. Add pixel art to the frame. You got to give us the pixel art. So I have a frame, by the way. This is green screened out right now, so you can't see it. But we'll add it. Put the pixel art in our Discord, and I'll put it up there. It'll show up on their next video probably. Rob Bianco says, I had new lines on my message. Huh? New lines? Oh, you had new lines. The Twitch separated up, merged them together. Okay. Denmal says, lol, Ezra, no shame goes on to shame. Haha. No, it's not a shame. I mean, it's like, I can't read this, Rob. But okay. It wasn't your fault. It was Twitch's fault. I get it. We're all here. Yusuf says, I am a beginner. So can you explain me in Godot, what does the for blah, blah, blah in blah mean? It's called a for each loop. This is a known programming concept. So, like we're familiar with while loop, right? While condition, loop. We know for loop, which is given the index increment, blah, blah, blah. Well, the new pattern that got developed, I think is like around Java 7. Basically, we do this all the time, right? We go I in some number, and then we go item, items index I equals item, right? So if your purpose is that you don't need the index, but you just need to iterate on the item, what this does is basically this, where item is this. So you're shorthanding this part. Sometimes I do have to do this anyways because I need this I, but if you just need to do stuff to each of the components of the array, then you just do this, and it's called for each loop. PM Teddy says, a comma don't cost too much. Well, Rob was saying that he did enter in between those items instead of comma, and Twitch kind of put everything together. So yeah. All right, so we're adding them to the line. We're emptying it out beforehand, but I kind of don't like this. I'd want to do this in a separate call. So I will do it over here. And then we mark it dirty, and then this will repopulate. All right, so this will be repopulating everything. So that means I can get rid of this copper hammer. I guess I don't have to because it's going to delete before it shows up anyways. That means we should work, actually. We should be ready. Rob Bianco says alt enter to be precise. Yeah, the close lines. All right. Hello. Oh, we got an error here because it says invalid call to function open crafting table in the base canvas layer. Oh. Hello? Oh. Wait, what happened to that? No, it's right here. Why did it fail? Hello? This didn't exist on UI? Canvas layer right here. Open crafting table is right there. That's strange. Let me do that again. I want to see the error again. Rob Bianco says, no, I already read that. PM Teddy says, Twitch doesn't like that fancy stuff in its text boxes now. Twitch says, keep it simple. I ain't paying for that engineer hour. Yeah. So let's get to it. Where's the shop? I gotta find the shop. Oh, here we are. As you can see, dungeon generation is working nicely. Invalid call to function. Oh, canvas layer. It's just a canvas layer. But I have this. What do you mean? It was working before. Why are you deciding that it's broken now? Weird. Let me look over here. I guess I should make it so that UI is something else. It's probably because I typed it. So when I type it, because this is an extension of canvas layer, not canvas layer itself. When it's checking the available functions, the fact that it's canvas layer is like, canvas layer doesn't have this function. So that's why it's probably yelling. So if I say level UI instead, and then probably do one of those things, and it's probably gonna be like, oh, you're fine. Ugh. Oh, you know what? Okay. I'm silly goose. It's because I have this resource I need to, the parameter. Why is it not even breaking? That's so silly. Hold on. Let me do this again. I'm going to do it like this so that it knows to break. So I can go shop items. There you go. Okay. Jeez. Sometimes it's hard to keep track with everything. This is why hard typing is very helpful. So you can actually get a build error or compile error. Excuse me. Jeez. I do need to make it so that it's just a simple rock or knuckle. I don't know how I'm going to describe having no weapon, but... Oh my god! Okay. It turns out, I think I... Wait, what? Oh, whoops. I forgot to flip it off. Flip the dirty off. So it's just keep populating it. So many items in the shop. That's funny. Okay. Okay, not here, not here. No, zombie. Leave me alone. No, it's not here. Ah, found it. Here we are. Aha! Stone, copper, and iron hammer. Sick. PM Teddy says he really wants to make a sale, I guess. Yeah, he does. Danimal says, work it done. Have a good day, everyone. Oh, bye, Danimal. Thanks for stopping by. PM Teddy says, okay, calm down, shopkeeper. No need to spam your shop. Yeah, exactly. We're going to buy it. We're going to buy it, okay? All right, so the item gets populated. That's a good news. I suppose we gotta select it now. So if we're scrolling through the recipe, so we have the inputs here. We're going to probably do the directional input. So event if event is action press. Should I do action or can I do axis here? Get. And no, I can't. I guess I could do it on process. How am I doing this? How am I stealing it? UI open crafting table. Yeah. Okay. So I'll do that. On character control. You know what? I'm not going to do that. It's too much. I was going to do like when you're controlling the character under the process, you can make it so that you make a basically vector of up or down based on what value on the joystick or whatever is pressed, and then use that as a number. I think I'm just going to do input instead. So we're going to say is action pressed, and that's just simply UI up and UI down. And we're going to probably focus on different things based on that. Let's see, what else? What else? That means we're going to have a selection cursor. So on the crafting table, we're going to mark a recipe as selected. And we do selection by updating the theme override. So we have this, which is going to be, we're going to save this. Can I save this as? Hello? Save as shop heading label. No, we want it to be called recipe line item base style box. And then we'll make a different one with this, and we'll save this as recipe line item selected style box. Right? So we have these two. Over here, we can have base style box, which I guess is just a style box. Texture. Style box texture. Oops. And this will be, I gotta make sure this is local to the scene. And then we'll preload one of these things. And then we have selected style box. We'll preload this other stuff. Right? Nojul says, I like my file name long too. I love my file name being as long as it can be. Borderline unreadable. Hey, don't judge me. Okay. We are populating it, and we basically simply go, I think, var is selected, or is in focus, which will be a Boolean value of true or false. I suppose dirty equals true here, and we're going to say this will equal to the value, and this will update based on if it is in focus or not. Oh my gosh, I'm about to sneeze. Oof. Just give me a second. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Had to get the food sorted here. Oh, Eduardo, hello. Oh, cool cat hat. We got to put the cool cat hat on here. Yusuf says, poop break? No, I just had to go figure out the lunch and decide on when I'm going to finish the stream today. Probably another hour, I think. At least I want to make the shop thing work minimally. Eduardo says, time for cool cats, but ad break first. All right, back from Ed. Hello there. Greetings from Brazil. Hello, Eduardo from Brazil. Neutral says, hey, yo, I remember you from Full Buck Stream, maybe? Oh, probably. I mean, we raid each other a lot. Like in just general, like there's like this group of streamers that are just kind of like raiding back and forth. So I wouldn't be surprised if you guys see each other from different places. Let's see. Let's add that emote. I gotta figure this out. This is the hardest part of my job. Is redeeming emote on screen. Because like it's every time I need to like, how do I do this again? Do I do it this way? But it's okay. All right, here's my stream, and here's the little cat. Speaking of cat, Eduardo, you'll be glad to know we have new emotes out here. Other people already heard about this, but we got our fig emote. We got the meow emote. We got the fig angel. Look at that. Boom. Cats everywhere. So we have that. There you go. Lovely car. Yeah. Best car ever. Eduardo, you redeemed 2 emotes on stream. Do you want another one? Or are you good with it? Eduardo says, I'm around some dev streams. Yeah. We're all dev stream watcher. Okay, so the idea is we just need to set this as in focus as things gets in focus. And it should work. So on the crafting window here, by default, we're probably going to just select very specific indices. We'll probably go like this. Over here, have a var that is selected item index. By default, 0. So it starts with 0 here. And basically, even if it's not dirty, we're going to go for I in item size. No, we don't even need to do that, do we? We could just go, can I do that actually? I don't know. Let me see if I can. HFlow container, get child in index. Yes, selected item index. It's going to be between minimum of the index versus the size -1. Children size. Can I do children count? Children count? No. I just got to do size. Children. Oh, child count. And then -1. Okay, so we're getting selected item, minimum between these 2 values. We're going to get that index. And then we're just simply going to say is in focus. You know what? This, okay, hold on. We're going to say, what was it? Is in focus, right? Is in focus. Line here. You said line item has is in focus. So is in focus will be true. That actually means when this gets set, before it does that, I think what I want to do is this actually. set whatever it was to false, and then set it to true after changing it. Better yet, do it afterwards and do the value here instead. And then update the value here. The risk is if the node is not ready, it's going to break. So we're going to say probably node is ready. And then we're going to say the input flips the selected item index plus equals 1 or minus 1. And then it's going to be plus equals 1. More specifically, when it gets set, we're going to have to basically var mod value will be positive mod of the value that's incoming with the size of the items. Like so. I think it's called positive mod. Hold on. Oh, it's one word, I think. Pos mod. So pos mod will do number to the size, and then it'll iterate through from 0 to whatever. Hopefully, that'll work. Let's take a look. Backlight to LED to white. You're changing all of these things, but maybe I should disable it because it's great that you're using this to change it, but you won't see the change here. It's the backlight. But thanks for interacting, I suppose. Here, I'll make it white. I don't think you'll be able to notice. Welcome to the Game Mistake says, now we need Peach emote. Peach doesn't show up on stream enough, I think. Don, the developer, says, don't forget, he has an awesome reward where you can get him to do squats. No, forget it. Everybody forget it, please. Ah! Okay. Ah, gosh. Hold on. There it is. I demand second cool car. Fig Angel emote is here. Look. See? Boom. It's tiny, so you can't really see it. Eduardo says, you hate me, don't you? Too expensive for squats. I can fill the screen with emotes instead. The emotes have... Oh, it's clearly not working. Let me see if it... Whoa. What's going on here? Okay. Selected item index is -1. I guess it's because by default I set it to that. Hold on. So let's do line item here. Eduardo, the emote on screen is not forever. It has a time limit. 19x emotes for one squat. A sunk cost fallacy, exactly. You want another cool cat? We're just gonna fill the screen with cool cats. I gotta be like, no, it just ran out. You redeem for the cat to stay as opposed to adding another. You know what? I'll add another one for you. Eduardo says, yes, but that doesn't mean other emotes cannot coexist. Yes, you got me. Oh, I am that kind of person. This is the true merchant mindset. Here, I'll get another one. Can I duplicate this? That's not it. Out of here. Copy. There has to be a way to duplicate. Paste? Ah, yes. Oh my god, there's so many cats. Or how about this? There you go. Now we have a cat hat. Ready? It'll stay for a little bit. Eduardo says, I love exploiting loopholes. Yeah, well, don't we all? Don't we all? That's what makes us developers. Ace says, when you modify the store, do you need add or delete things in the code? When I modify the store, yes. I am making it so that it deletes everything on it when I'm setting the items, as opposed to adding items one at a time. So I'm relying on the whole things to be set all at once. Line item here, we're going to change the default texture so that it's not this. We got to make it into a base style box. There it is. Let's see what happens here. Again, find the shop. Somewhere in here. Ah, stop following me. Oh, so annoying. Get out of here. Oh, there it is. All right, you stay out there. Okay. By default, it was supposed to start with the selection, so it's already not working, but it's okay. We'll figure it out. And then we'll have selected item here. Okay. Selected item index +1. Value is 2 here. Mod value, nothing. Value currently is 2. Item size will be 3. So it'll be 2. Is node ready? Yes, it is. So we're going to go to the container. Grab 1. And we're going to set that is in focus to false, which I guess I will come here and see if it gets set. Oh, whoops. Silly me. I didn't even set the thing here. That's why. Okay, so we're going to say here style themes override or themes override. Okay. When I add, does it replace it? That's a real question. Create a local override for theme style box. Yes. Name and the style box. Normal, duplicate. Oh, normal. This would be called styles, right? Add theme style box override. Create a local override for a theme style box with a specified name. Local overrides always take precedence when fetching theme items for control. An override can be removed with this. Okay. Modify a property in a... Oh. This is modifying a property in the style box rather than replacing the style box. Theme override. Add theme. Can I replace the whole style box? I suppose. Well, if this is a case, do I do panel? Because technically it's a name panel, right? Normal. I'm going to see if I can do panel and then provide the style box here. So I go panel and then provide a selected style box. If is in focus is true. Otherwise, due to base. Let's see how that goes. Oh, the shop is all the way down there. I gotta go find it. Here we go. It might break, but we'll find out very quickly. Okay. Seems like it's working. Okay, it doesn't like this. Invalid assignment of property of key is in focus with value of type bool on... Hold on. The positive mod doesn't seem to be working. Let's see. And do this. Down, which will be 1. So that. This will be 0. Yes. If I go up, it's 2. And over here, the 2 is breaking because 2 doesn't exist. Child count would be 3. The value is, oh. Whoops. We need to do mod value instead. There you go. Okay. All right, now it should work. All right, let's go. Come here. Come here. Oh, Don the developer for another squats. I think Don's favorite thing about this stream is just me doing squats here. I'll have you know, my quads are bulging right now, so maybe it should be more than 2,000. But I'll do them. Just let me test this real quick. Okay, it cycles through all the way. Okay, it's kind of confusing because a single tap, look, versus this one works really well. But this, oh, it's because release is counting too. Okay. I gotta make it so that it's only the press, not the release. Which I thought it was obvious that it would be that. But I guess the input handling doesn't do that really. Is action... Wait, I thought the pressed was that. Returns true if the given action is being pressed. Is not an echo event unless allow echo is true. May return false. I guess I need to do is pressed only. And event is released. Pressed. Let me see if this only works on press instead of on release. And then I'll do squats, okay, Don? Here we go. Welcome says, ew, bulging? I mean, like it's squatting, you know what I mean? I did a squat already earlier, and because of the lighting, it was like showing some definition, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And don't judge me for my word usage here. Don says, sounds good. Fruit Superman says, maybe add a return or delay. I really think it's because of the release. I just need to not detect the release. See? Wait. It's still doing the release. Why is it detecting? Hold on. Is released. Returns true if this event is released. Okay, so we're going to say if it is not released. Silly. Okay. Oh. Wait, it's still doing it. Am I crazy here? Hold on. Let me just debug this, okay? I'm sorry, Don. I'll be squatting it any moment now. But I have to find the source of the issue. Okay. Oh, you know what's happening? It's not the release. It's the... So when I do the joy down, if I release it, it's actually joy up. It's considered up and down. When it's like smashing back to the normal. So as what do you call? Fruit was saying, do I need a delay? But what if I'm holding it down and then I do this? You know? It's kind of annoying. I have to figure this out. But at least the cycle is working. So that's something. Otherwise... Oh, it's considering every single movement in between as an input. Look, if I slowly move the joystick, every increment that it detects is considered a button press. You see that? That's crazy. I wonder if I can make it so that it only detects the movement if it is certain threshold, like it has to be a maximum or like something. I don't know. That's weird. Where voice says, "Ah, yes, input trouble." Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, there must be a known way to fix that, but it's okay. At least the little D-pad is working. I guess this should be in wrong order. Like, why is the iron on top? But yeah, okay, cool. That's something. All right, everyone, get up. We're going to do 21 squats real quick. Slow descent, a bursty ascent is the rule here. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. It's not actually hard. I'm just acting like it's difficult for your entertainment, you know? I swear. Whew. All right. Good one, right, everyone? We're bulking. Voice says we're back. Input troubles. Input action strength or implement dead zone. How do you do dead zone? I don't usually work with the controller, so this is actually pretty new. Okay. Let's see. Event dead zone. Do I have to be like input joy motion? And then it has some stuff on it. Let's see. Joy axis. Axis value. I suppose this would be it, huh? Axis identifier. Joy axis has... let me see. Float value. So it's going to be either up, down, left, right, and then some sort of float value. And basically, we will only consider the input if it is certain value or higher, I'm guessing. That would be the dead zone. So I want to only go down if it's fully pressed, I think. So if event is joypad motion, then we want the event's value, which is axis value, to only be allowed if the absolute value of this is 1 or greater than or equal to 1, basically. If event is joypad motion, we want to only do this like this, which means we want to actually return here if it is less than 1. Otherwise, it'll pass and then it'll do up and down. If it is not, okay, this is a problem. If event If it is not, it'll pass through too. Okay. I think it'll be okay. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. PM Teddy says, ain't no we in this. This is you. No, we're supposed to do the squats together. Voices eye controller flashbacks. Did you have that issues too? Welcome to the Game Mistake says, I have a new Fig emote. Send it over. We'll add it. Streampunk Sheep says, squat miner. Yeah, exactly. We're mining squats here. That's our favorite things to mine, apparently. Okay. Okay, that's a boss. Where's the shop? Ah, zombie, stop following me. It's somewhere in here. There it is. All right. Let's see if it'll work. Hello. Yes. Yes. And then D-pad works. Let's see. Keyboard. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. WSD works too. Nice. Beautiful. Problem solved. PM30 says, your channel, your squads. Voice says, you could also get the controller raw values and manually set the thresholds. Huh? Voice says, glad you chose the easy way. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever you said sounds complicated, and I don't want to do it. Okay. I am getting hungry, actually. I haven't eaten breakfast or anything, which is very silly of me. We're about 3 hours. Let's say I'm going to end the stream in like 20 minutes. How about that? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, I guess this should be the replacement of Fig Angel. Look at this emote. Can you see it? Here. Or I guess depends on what we want to call it. Here, gallery. What should this emote be called? What should this be called? Can you see it? Hold on. Hey, focus. There you go. Oh no, the cool cat is covering. Hold on, I gotta get rid of the cool cats. PM Teddy says, your massive thick quads need sustenance. Uppies? Oh my gosh, that is so cool. I think that should be called uppies. Yes. Fig uppies. Streampunk Sheep says, butt to grass as. Oh, you're saying that it's not deep enough? Are you challenging me for a deepest squat in the world? Well. Uppies. Yeah, we like that. Okay, we'll call it uppies. Here, we'll add one. I got to send this to myself via email so I can access it from my computer. It kind of sucks that I can't get these, like, update these emotes from my phone app. It's silly, I think. Doop, doop. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Getting that work in here. Stream says, yes, I challenge. I go deep squats. All right, well, show up. Pull up, Streampunk. Pull up to Seattle. All right, if anyone comes to PAX West, we'll do squats together. All right. I'm saying this while like not having actually purchased the tickets yet. I need to do that before it gets sold out, I guess. Save image. Fig uppies. React emotes. There you go. Okay. We'll make it tier 1. Wait, tier 1 is same thing as the Prime sub, right? Okay, good. All right. Tier 1. Fig uppies. We'll call it Fig uppies. Cute. All right. It'll take some time for it to be approved, but it's there. Nice. Voice says the Grand Game Dev Deep Squat Challenge. Exactly. Maybe I should just buy a PAX booth with no games. Just everybody just come and do squats. That's it. It's just me recording people doing squats. That would be extremely expensive way to get people to do squats, I think. But yeah. Voice says yes. PM Teddy said, make a cookie clicker squat game. Ooh, that could be fun. I'm sure that'll be a viral phone game. All right, so we have the cycle. Another thing now, when things get selected, I want it to expand and show details, I guess. For now, I'm not going to do a whole like lore or anything. I think for now, I'm just going to expand this basically and add a recipe detail line, which I guess should here. If you look at the recipe, there's an item resource. If you look over here, we have the recipe component, which does like rock salt, copper, blah, blah, blah. So we already have an enum for it. So I can simply show that, I think. So on the crafting window, on the line item, we probably want to add, let's see, some invisible line. I'm going to... All right. So getting the texture could be pretty tedious. I can do a mapping here. So if I go to the recipe component, adding a code in a resource code is a little bit taboo, I think, but let's see if I can do that. Get texture or icon texture, which will be, it's a static one. It takes in the component item, component item. And then I'll do texture 2D. And simply, it'll just grab, this probably don't have to even do that. I could just write it here. Actually, I should probably write it out here. Say, item to texture. And then I can make it go like this and go component item, rocks. Oh, wait, hello. Why not? Why not? How am I doing the texture thing? I'm somehow getting these texture things, so I need to figure this out actually. Sprite 2D is here. Am I assigning it on the thing? Hold on. Environmental. Eduardo, it's time for sleep. Okay, good night, Eduardo. PM just says that's the only way I'll do them. Making a cookie clicker. Yeah. Shrimpunk Sheep says, I'll see if I can get to PEX West, but I will warn you, Ezra, I am Asian. I don't know what that means. Why is that a warning? Why is that a warning? So am I. I'm an Asian too, I guess. Thanks for the follow. Oats, I'm guessing. That's what that spells. Oh, emote. Okay, we got to do the sleepy emote here real quick. Copy image. God, Eduardo uses this, what do you call, redeem a lot, which is good. I guess people using redeem is a good indication of interaction. So I can't complain, but I will. I can't complain, but I will. Okay, where is it? Do you see it? It's somewhere in here. Is this it? No. It got copied somewhere. Where are you? This sleepy thing. I can't find it. This is the worst part about this, I think. Oh, found it. There you go. Sleepy time. There you go. Okay. Goodness. Oh, it says, yes, lol. Okay. Yeah. Easy to read. PM Teddy says, not sure if that's a warning or a threat or what. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what kind of warning that was. Streampunk says, being Asian, I know the ancient art of Asian squatting. Oh, come on. Come on. Ash Cash says, hello. Hi, Ash. Eduardo says, I mean, if you have money, use it. It's like playing RPG and not using magic. It's true. True. PM Teddy says, that's the worst advice a teacher can give. I hope you're not a financial. True. Oh, if you have money, use it. Might as well. What's the point of saving it? Is what you're saying. This is not what I'm saying. This is what Eduardo is saying. It's a terrible advice. Don't do it. But also don't hoard, right? You got to invest. Eduardo says, PM Teddy, if you have food, will you leave it rotting because you don't want to eat? I think we're comparing apples to oranges here. You got to be careful with that. Okay. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I want to expand and show the recipe. And I was trying to figure out how I was deciding the environmental item here. Environmental resource helper. Oh, I already have it. Look at that. Get resource by name. We can do that. So environmental resource helper. And we're going to get the name, I suppose we're doing copper, iron, stone here like this. I guess the enum should be over here in the resource helper, huh? So we'll do some surgery here, minor surgery, but surgery nonetheless. Item resource, if we can find that. Item resource has recipe component, and recipe component has these item enums. I guess this can go to resource helper, environmental resource helper, and then, right? I want to see what that is, actually. Spawning item. We got to grab its spawning items. Wait, why is this empty? Hello? I'm having trouble understanding my own code right now, which is, it's okay, I think. Wait, why is this? Hello? This looks weird. Rock salt. Yes. Iron has iron scene. Iron. I made it a scene. Ooh, this is tricky. Okay. Ooh. How about this? We do an enum here. Component item. These are like the... You know what? I'm going to have to do this separately, I think. Yeah. I'm going to have to go back. This is kind of unfortunate part of life at the moment. We're going to have to make new resource out here, I think. So we got the components, recipe components, and we're going to make a component resources here. Recipe component is going to have this, and then we're going to have component texture. And then we'll give it a texture 2D. And it could look whatever it needs to look like. So I can just manually assign these components. I'll create a resource instead of just doing it out in the wild. We'll make the component, recipe component here. Call this a rock salt. We're going to have resource called copper. We're going to have component called iron. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Resource called iron. And so we have rock salt being, or this is copper enum. Count can be set to whatever. The texture of copper will be one of these, except Atlas. So we'll do Atlas. Grab one of these things, and then we'll do iron next. Down here. That will be over here. Well, actually, it needs to be Atlas. And then iron. Hello? Oh, this should be iron. Iron region would be this right here. And then the rock salt, which is, not really sure what texture was using. Salt? No. Stone? Well, I'm not using that. I don't actually know which which texture I'm using. This texture is from this guy. So we will, this is under cave. Terrible, but alas, we'll make our way either way. Stone, I guess. Got the stone here, stone hammer. There it is. Rock salt will be that. Atlas texture. We're gonna grab the cave objects. And we'll grab a region from there. There it is. This is Judgment Free Zone, I think. All right. We have the item textures here. And under item and resources, for the copper hammer now, we're going to probably update this so that it uses, okay, we're going to 25 salt and that's it, right? Or 25 salt and 5 copper. So we're going to delete this. So we're going to quickly load rock salt here. We're going to make unique, make it 25, and then 5 copper. Make unique, make 5 copper. There you go. Iron hammer, we're saying, takes 35 rock salt, so that'll be rock salt 35. Oh, we gotta make unique first, actually. There you go. And then add, wait, how many iron was it? 3 iron? Okay. Add 3 iron. And then sledgehammer takes 60 salt and 5 iron. 60 and 5. 60 salt. Oh, I gotta make unique. And 5 iron. Boom. I think this should do it. Here, let me check. Oh, stone hammer. This one takes 15 rock salt. Oops. Okay, so we got the sledge with 60 salt, 5 iron, iron hammer with 35 and 3 iron, copper with 25 and 5. I think it should actually be 3 for both. The idea is it's a gradual. Oh, you know what? This should be 5 for both. 5 and 5 iron. Sledge was, I think it should be 10. And then it should be 50 here. There you go. Perhaps. Thanks. Oh, welcome says, you're so cool, Ezra. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's funny knowing who's saying that. Kado says, when you say make unique, I keep thinking of unique pointers in C++. Oh, no. Make unique is like, because we're loading resources. So the way Godot works, just in case, I mean, you know what Godot, you know what Godot does. So I don't have to explain it. But for those who doesn't understand, resources, when you're loading it from this file saved, then this is locked and paired to the file. So if I make any edits to this, it changes the original file. So when I say make unique, it's basically making a duplicate so that it doesn't change the source. So there that is. Stringpunk Sheep says, please explain to the peasants. Yes, exactly. We are all peasants in this blessed day. Teacher says, or Eduardo says, coding is problem solving with extra headache. Oh, yes, exactly. Void says, Pest Ezra probably big brain moment. Yeah, exactly. Pest Ezra had too much brain. The current Ezra is just living life, trying to survive here. PM Teddy says, comparing apples to money. Yeah. Anyways, some lost translation here from our pest conversation. All right, so we have all the information, the textures included. So line item over here will probably just add, I think, a number. It should just expand it and add the resource picture and then the number, right? I think so. Let's see. Let's say I do flow container. No, it should be it should just be a new item. So when it gets created, when the resource gets set, when the line item receives a recipe, as part of the update, what it will do is to the VBox container, this should only happen in the beginning, the first time, huh? So this actually should happen over here. If is node ready, then what we want to do is to the VBox container, which is where did it go? We want to add a child of this thing, which is texture rect and label combo, which I guess I could do it here manually. Let me see what that looks like. If I do texture rect and label, you know what? Actually, that should be its own thing. So I'm gonna do under UI. I'll create a scene, I think, which would be item counter. And item counter will have texture rect and a label, and it should probably be horizontal flow, H flow, or box, H box. And it's going to have some image, which will say keep size, keep item counter will be full rect. That's fine. And this is going to have a label, heading label, I guess. Might not be appropriate, but unless we go 8 on the font. I don't know if that'll actually work. That's way too small. We'll just keep this for now. An item counter, we can just simply set name, item counter. We'll just grab these numbers. Probably just set it directly so we can access that. We're going to add the item counter here, and we're going to make a new item counter that is item counter, which comes from the item counter scene, which is a preload of item counter here. And this will instantiate, and we'll grab the label. Text will equal to string version of the number in the item. So we're going to go recipe, recipe here for component in recipe. The component will have, what is it? Component is recipe component. And we're taking its count, and then texture rect. Texture will have its texture, I think, component texture here. It'll set it, it'll add it. We have a counter. We add it as a child. And I suppose that whole thing can be invisible, I guess. Visible item counter visible will be false. And when things come into focus here, basically for a child in VBox container, children, if child is item counter, then we're going to make that visible on selection. And then on deselect, we'll make it invisible. And let's see what happens there. This might just break straight up. Let's see how it goes. Whoa. Okay, this is an error. The secret room is not supposed to be connected, but it is. All right. Where are you? Oh, it's connected over there. Don't follow me, zombie. No. Okay. Okay, it's not working, clearly. I want to see what's going on here. It's coming in here. Thanks for the follow, James. Or James X. All right. So we got the VBox container. We're going to grab the children. Oh, there's only one child. It means it was never added. I guess because the node was never ready when this is being set. That's unfortunate. Okay. I think there's one way to check this better. So we're going to do the whole dirty update. Because I wanted to do it only once when it needs to be, but it seems like I do need to do it on dirty. What I can do is do a children count. So I can be like, hey, VBucks container, get child count. And if the child count is, less than 1 plus, what do you call? Hold on, let me just paste this so I don't. Oh, I actually did lose it. Hold on, I gotta make sure I cut this so I can go. Is in focus. So over here, if what did I say? If VBucks container get children count is less than something, then do this, and that something is recipe size plus 1. Then we're gonna add all the components here once, right? Because if there's 2 line items, then we have 1 plus 2. So it's already populated, there will be 3. So 2 plus 1 is 3. If it's, yeah, that'll be good. All right, some other notification. What was the notification? Thanks for the follow on YouTube. Eridoichi. All right, let's see. Okay, it's somewhere in here. I think finding the crafting table is definitely a hard work, which I think isn't good design. That's part of the intention. All right, I gotta kill all these zombies. It's kind of annoying me. It's definitely not in here. Ah, found it. Okay. Doesn't like this. Invalid assignment of property or key texture with the value type Atlas texture. Oh. So this is 2D. This component texture happened to be Atlas texture. Invalid assignment of property or key texture. That's weird that the texture rect can't take the Atlas texture. Oh. This is nil. I see. I need to do this first. Kind of annoying, but it makes sense. Done this many times. Streampunk says, please don't make a Ubisoft-esque arrow points to crafting table. That is such a bad flavor to a game. Huh? What are you talking about? Ubisoft arrow? What's an arrow? I'm not familiar with Ubisoft's crafting. It's working, right, guys? Yes! 35.5, 15 here. We got 25 here. I mean, margin can use a little bit of work, but that's pretty decent. I almost feel like it should be right aligned. But, you know. Okay. I guess B to close. So we'll do input map, UI cancel. Probably, okay, so escape here. We're also going to add B as a cancel, I think. Or right click. Right click. There you go. And we're going to make it so that crafting window here, when it takes This is for movement. Input here. If it is visible, it takes into joystick. Blah, blah, blah. If event is action pressed, UI cancel. Then we're going to close the window. Close window, which will be doing a bunch of stuff. I suppose this should signal that the window has been closed, because there needs to be an unlock that needs to happen here. So we'll say window closed emit here, and we'll signal that out. Signal window closed. And on level, crafting system, on window closed, we got to resume everything. So on level 1, we made it so that, hold on. Where's player? Player character. Right. We got to set is controllable to true now. So what we're going to do here is do this to true, and I suppose make itself invisible. Right? That's the only thing, I think. Yeah. All right. Stringpunk says, it's when game just points game objectives or put a sticker on the map for game objectives. Like, games need to feel like a world not filled with UX. Yes, I agree. I actually really don't like just like things telling you what to do next, as opposed to just like being able to explore and find. But there's another thing. When you do your own exploration, also, it needs to have a sense of like natural progression, as opposed to being like, oh, I badly designed this game, so now you're in a place where it's super difficult and you should level up to beat this. You know what I mean? I don't like that either. Like, if I can get somewhere, I should be able to defeat it even if I don't have all the tools, as long as I understand some things. And that information needs to be available, I think. I don't know. I mean, it's yes and no, I guess. Okay. So I can go like this. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Kind of working. This is looking good. I like how it changes the order every time, I think. You can kind of see it get added sometimes. It is changing the order, right? Sometimes? We should probably change that, so that the lowest grade always is on the top. Okay. Nice. All right. Item shop opens. We show recipe. We can close and resume the game. Chris says, for finding the player, you could use get first node in group. Oh, instead of doing the 0? Okay. Get first node in group. I guess that's cleaner. Thank you. I suppose this thing that I'm doing where you get the group nodes and then just getting the first component is very common practice for a single entity grouping. Thank you, Chris. Okay. Let's see. 3 hours and 18 minutes. Okay, we're good here. We got the item shop working. We can close and open. Next thing, I definitely need to update the UI so that the item collection, or at least have like a way to open inventory to see what I have. And definitely when the shop opens, I need to show what I have and then actually be able to purchase and replace your weapon. That's what's up next, I think. Streampunk says it's one game. I already saw that. All right. It's time to go. It's time to go. Let me raid someone. Thanks for watching, everyone. Once again, I know today was a little shorter of a session, but I think that's a good stopping point here. Thanks for the follow, Calf. Yeah, once again, everybody, if you are joining us for the first time or if this is second, third time, but you haven't followed yet, I think you should do that. So you get notified. Practical's been up for 1 hour, so we can go. Oh, we haven't been to Practical in a while, huh? Have we? So I guess we should go to Practical. As much as we like to send you to our fellow Pacific Northwest developer, I think Practical's been a while, so we'll go to Practical today. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Later, I guess tomorrow. See you tomorrow. And have a good day. Stay safe, I guess. Yeah. Bye. And then